Cobras Weekly. I'm your host, Brian Schmidt. On today's final show, we will talk with head coach Billy Back about the 46-34 loss versus Columbus Lions. Our player segment, we're going to go a little special today. We're going to talk to assistant coach Michael Youngblood. And then we're going to discuss the huge playoff game Saturday, 7 p.m., Greensboro Coliseum against the Massachusetts Pirates. All this and more on Cobras Weekly.
Miranda Lambert, the Roadside Bars and Pink Guitars Tour. Saturday, November 23rd at Greensboro Coliseum. The record-breaking award winner, Miranda Lambert. One of country music's most beloved. Very special guest, Marion Morris. Also featuring Pistol Annies. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday morning at 10 at LiveNation.com.
National Arena League champions, the Carolina Cobras.
Welcome back and welcome to the show as always, head coach Billy Back. Billy, welcome man, final show.
Yep.
We've been doing this all year.
Yep. Thanks for having me back on again.
Well, you know, it was either you or, Cassidy, and we always like to choose you. So, Columbus, not the result we wanted, but again, it was a game that didn't really mean a whole lot. We came out healthy except for one guy, unfortunately, but getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it came down to our candy yam play by the offensive line. Played pretty soft. They just couldn't get the job done, and at the same time, it was a game that unfortunately I was suspended from. But at the same time, our guys should have built their own character, leadership up, carried themselves as professionals, went out and won the game. But the most important thing out of that game was coming out healthy, and we did lose a player. Antoine Hadley dislocated his hip, broke his pelvic bone. Pretty traumatic incident. Only happens in head-on car accidents, and Hadley came in with some speed and some power and blew the hip out the back, and he's had surgery on Wednesday and doing pretty well right now. And but prayers to him, speedy recovery. He'll be back on the field. Doctor's doing a good job taking care of him. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to take canned goods to the Salvation Army and feed the needy. We gave the Columbus Lions some confidence to hopefully go into Jacksonville and knock those guys off and get them off their pedestal and feel pretty good about themselves. I feel like we played a pretty bad game as a team, but Columbus thought they played the best game they played all season. So
right.
let your
Absolutely.
Let your goods be goods and your better be best, but don't ever, 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 ever let it rest. I think it's like an old Dr. Seuss book. Is that a Dr. Seuss book?
I think you just went Dr. Seuss on us in the final show.
It's something.
You've been reading to the kids again.
Yeah, well, it's the only book I like to read. It's Dr. Seuss.
Well, as we come out of this game, offensively, you talked about it. The offensive line was definitely playing like candy yams. They were not playing very well. But what were some things?
Yams, period. It's yams across the board.
Yeah, it was yams
everywhere. Everywhere.
What were you able to take from this now as you prepare for Massachusetts in the playoff game?
Well, it's just a little. You got to get a little bit of hate in your heart. You got to hate your opponent. You got to play with a little passion and fire in your belly, and realize that this is the second season. This is what we played for all through camp. Everything we've done all through off-season workouts. This is what we played for. It isn't for game 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. It's for the playoffs. We have the Massachusetts Pirates coming to town, who we flat out don't like. We let's be honest. They've tried to buy a championship from day one. Mm-hmm. Fined all the time for overpaying players, and it is what it is. If that's the way they need to win games, and let them win that way. We've embarrassed them twice already, and I don't see it being any different than the first time. We're going to come in. We're a much better team offensively than we were last time we played them. We're a much better team defensively than the last time we played them. And granted, they've gotten better as well. But at the same time, it's not going to be about the X's and O's. It's going to be about the Jimmies and Joes. And I think our guys want them more. They've been in this situation before. and we'll see what happens tonight.
Real quickly, let's switch gears to something that I know a lot of our fans have been talking about. Player of the year, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year. In my opinion, we have 3 guys that should be up for those awards. And I know that's something you and I have talked about some. Talk a little bit about Charles McCollum, Jordan Jolly, and Mike Green.
Yeah, I mean, Charles McCollum to me is the only quarterback in the league that's played majority, 99% of the games, who's got great stats, lead the leagues in a lot of stats. You know, Bain sat out 4 games and now is replaced. Faffel's only started 4. Brackett's been all over the place, started out slow, numbers aren't great. Collis is no longer playing in the league. New York switched out quarterbacks. Orlando still haven't found a quarterback. They're still looking. They're holding tryouts tomorrow for a quarterback still. It's hands down Charles McCollum, league MVP. Offensive MVPs, hands down Jordan Jolly. Leagues every statistical category, receptions, yards. This is a passing game, touchdowns. You name it, Jolly's there. Jolly's put up numbers more than anybody has in the entire league the last 3 years. Broken a lot of records. Hands down the vote. So, it's going to be double vote for me for Jordan Jolly and Charles McCollum. I mean, and no one else deserves it in my book. They got left out last year from the awards. We had a lot of good players last year in the league. Yes. So you really can't go wrong either way. But we felt like we were snubbed in a lot of categories, and it fueled our fire. I think our fire's fueled this year for the playoffs. What happened last week in New York,
right?
Kind of fueled our fire now. So our guys are pissed off for greatness. But Mike Green, Defensive Player of the Year, Steve Miller, Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Robinson. We got some guys that have the opportunity to be Defensive Players of the Year as well.
Absolutely. All right, so when we come back, we are going to discuss highlights from Columbus, and we're going to highlight Jordan Jolly, Charles McCollum, and Mike Green in these highlights. So stay tuned.
Miranda Lambert, the Roadside Bars and Pink Guitars Tour. Saturday, November 23rd at Greensboro Coliseum. The record-breaking award winner, Miranda Lambert. One of country music's most beloved. Very special guest, Marion Morris. Also featuring Pistol Annie's. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday morning at 10 at LiveNation.com.
National Arena League champions, the Carolina COBRA014.
All right, welcome back. And Billy, let's get into these highlights. So, Billy, we come right off. First play of the game, McCollum and Jordan Jolly. Jordan with a great run.
Z-bubble, you see a nice cut block by Vaughn, nice block by Priester, and Jolly just being 215 pounds of donuts and just gets in the end zone.
We're going to see on these highlights, Jordan really played some monster receiver in terms of just banging people in this whole game.
Yeah, offensive line blocks a screen wrong. That's part of the terrible play we had offensive line front. Thank God Jordan made it happen himself.
All right, even though we get a catch here, Mike Green with a phenomenal hit.
Yeah, Mike's playing downhill. It's a short, quick, fast, shifty receiver. He's a Johnny on the spot. I'd like to see Hadley come over and pick that off. Be a little more inside the numbers, but.
And then we get a great pass breakup by Mike Green, and Mike leads the league in pass breakups.
Yeah, PBUs, that's just like batted balls, incomplete pass. It's what you want your defensive backs to do. I mean, we want to pick them off, but if we can't, we want to be there.
All right, and then we get another great defensive play, sacked by Dante Holmes. And defensive line has been relentless really this last half of the season. They've really gotten after it.
Well, if you look at this play, then you look at the play before that, we had two defensive linemen taking the play off. And then this play, all 3 go, as well as Dante, and this is in your end result. So we got guys taking plays off. You see Big Bill pushing, taking 2. when Bill absorbs 2, that means somebody's going to be free, and that's Dante Holmes in this case gets a good sack.
Yeah, that's that real key of everybody's got to be going 100 miles an hour. And then, again, another great hookup. This one, Charles McCollum and Jordan Jolly again.
Yeah, we have pretty good protection right there. Chuck gets the check down to Jolly. Jolly does a slow motion spin move and gets in the end zone. So, I mean, when you have time to throw, it allows our quarterback to go into his progression. And when you don't, we're a scrambled rush team.
We're going to see this again. And, this is just, we talked about the protection, but just a great job. There's always that chemistry with Chuck and Jolly. And when you can give them time, they're gonna get open.
Yeah. It's you don't coach it. It's just something they got that just, to me, the best duo in the arena game is McCollum to Jolly.
Yeah. And then we're gonna come back. Charles McCollum again. This one to Von Pearson, and we talked about it before. The pickup of Von Pearson has been gigantic for us.
Yeah, Von's gotten on cue. Chuck and Jolly, or Chuck and Von, same page, similar to Jolly, but Vaughn does things in and out of breaks that a lot of receivers can't do. Create separation with his moves, and he's got a high IQ as well.
We're gonna see it here again, and decent protection here, but again, Charles does a great job always sliding in the pocket, finding that open spot.
Yeah, Charles will set blocks up nicely, but again, like I said, we got to get more secure and be more of a brick wall up front than we were. We're like a wet paper towel this past game, giving up 3 sacks. And, that's the end result is that.
All right, Jordan Jolly here again, and not sure what this was, but it worked.
Well, if you look at the right guard there, getting pushed back like a jelly donut, and Chuck just kind of throws a grenade. And luckily, Jordan Jolly, Charles McCollum on the same page. I didn't think that was the route. That wasn't the play called. It just was, I think he's going to be here. And you look at the right guard, getting blown to the backfield, almost makes the tackle himself. And luckily, Jordan's on the underneath route and gets in the end zone.
And, our final highlight, again, another hookup, Charles McCollum and Jordan Jolly. And they did this all night. Again, Jordan Jolly has just had such a phenomenal year, and as has, Charles McCollum.
Oh, you got to give a lot of credit to the receivers out there blocking. I mean, Priester and Miller and Summers and Dave Jordan and Grady. These guys get out there and get the job done blocking. I mean,
absolutely. You
got to avoid the cut block by Vaughn. Go up and over, allows a receiver to run right around him, and so Jolly can do his little happy dance and whatever he's
always makes him happy.
Whatever he does.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with assistant coach Michael Youngblood. So stay tuned.
Many are mediocre, but only few are excellent.
Ring of Honor, Saturday at 11 on My 48. Don't miss all the action. My 48 is my place for sports.
Miranda Lambert, the Roadside Bars and Pink Guitars Tour. Saturday, November 23rd at Greensboro Coliseum. The record-breaking award winner, Miranda Lambert. One of country music's most beloved. Very special guest, Marion Morris. Also featuring Pistol Annie's. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday morning at 10 at LiveNation.com.
It is my pleasure to welcome assistant coach Michael Youngblood to the show. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, so you started out last year as an intern, and now you are on the coaching staff, which you were on the coaching staff then, but you've graduated up now to being a paid coach, working with the offensive line, and you do so many things. Talk about your role and talk about the things that you do.
Well, it all started as an internship with football operations, and it ended up gradually turning into a paid coaching job. It solely just based off of the work ethic that I had and my knowledge of the game, working with Billy, learning everything from him, learning the ropes, and then translating all of it to football. It took me a year or 6 months to a year to learn the arena game, and after that, it just took off.
So one of the things about you, and when we talk about your work ethic, I mean, we saw that last year, is you were always one of the first guys there, and you were on game nights, especially at home, you're one of the last people to leave. You were always the one taking care of the laundry and doing things like that. How much fun has it been coaching arena football for you?
It's been phenomenal. Like I said, I've learned so much from Billy, from Coach Rez, being able to be around these guys like James Summers, Bill Vaval, guys that'll call me at 10 o'clock at night wanting to watch film or want extra work. It's been amazing.
Awesome. So you are also, as I know this, you also love to cook. You will send me videos of you cooking things and every so often. Talk about some of the things you like. Talk about some of the things you like to cook.
Peanut butter and jelly, cereal.
Chicken, cereal. I mix it up from time to time. I've been testing some new stuff out lately. I've been doing a lot of candied yams. And I mean, it's a little bit of sugar in it, but it's also a good amount of protein too.
Love them yams.
I love them yams.
Absolutely. So Billy, talk a little bit about him. He has been one of our favorites from day one. I get phone calls from him all the time, and it's always a joy talking to him.
Yeah, when he first applied, he just wouldn't leave us alone. It was like a puppy dog. They kept showing up at Pro Park and was doing this, and I'm like, who's this guy helping out over here? And they're like, oh, that's Michael Youngblood. I was like, oh, that's who keeps emailing and over and over and over and over. Ugh. And so finally we, gave him a shot. And then that first day he was there, it's like, this is Mike Youngblood. This guy's pretty good. So giving a guy a chance, he claims to be a basketball player, claims to be a golfer, claims to be a baseball player, all this other stuff. But, I think his niche is coaching. I think he needs to stop talking about those other things and just focus on what you're good at, not what you're not good at. So, he's always fun to be around. He's with us every second of the day, from game day morning to game day night. Even stays there last year after hours, allowing me to go to the after party. He'd stay there and finish the laundry up or whatever. This year we got a better plan, doing stuff the next day, which works out good for us because we're not there so late. But just seeing that work ethic he had, from being an intern to, okay, Mike, go home now. Mike, get out of here. It's time to go. That's what you want of your coaches. And not to mention, too, you want guys around you that you can hang out with for 5 months. We can hang out with Mike all day. Mike never gets old. If you watch the video of Mike singing to the Backstreet Boys in the locker room with the lights flickering, everybody, that's the energy and intensity he brings. It's fun, it's laughable, and he's a first-class, trustworthy guy. And that speaks a lot about him, because coaches don't hire great coaches. Coaches hire good coaches that they trust. Yeah. And we luckily got a great coach that we trust and like to have him. And he's also coaching high school locally too at North Guilford.
Western Guilford.
Guilford. What was your record last year? Hopefully better this year. He missed the trip on the cruise because he was home, dedicated to that football staff on a 1-win season, and hopefully we're going to turn around this year. But he's also going to miss one game because he's going on the cruise.
Yeah, sorry. I'll be out of here.
Win this championship. We're going boating.
Yeah, he's being kidnapped.
Of
no
course.
question about that.
Absolutely.
So talk about your high school coaching real quickly.
Well, like I said, I coach at Western Guilford High School. I actually played there, graduated in 2015. I coach D-line and I help out with the tight ends a little bit too. And it's been phenomenal just working with kids while also working with some professional athletes and seeing how the game translates from the high school level to the college level to the professional level.
Awesome. Well, Michael, it's always a pleasure to have you around, and we definitely wanted to have you on our last show for the season. So
Mikey Mike.
Mikey Mike.
Yams.
Mikey Mike.
All right, when we come back, playoff time against the Massachusetts Pirates. So see you in a minute.
When we step into the arena, we are not there just for the sport. We are there to become champions. When we stand firm on the turf, we assess our plans. And when we run into the battle, not away from it. We are the 2018 NAL champions. We are your Carolina Cobras.
Miranda Lambert, the Roadside Bars and Pink Guitars Tour. Saturday, November 23rd at Greensboro Coliseum. The record-breaking award winner, Miranda Lambert. One of country music's most beloved. Very special guest, Maren Morris. Also featuring Pistol Annies. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public Friday morning at 10 at LiveNation.com.
Many are mediocre, but only few are excellent.
Ring of Honor, Saturday at 11 on My 48. Don't miss all the action. My 48 is my place for sports.
Welcome back. And tonight, 7 p.m., Greensboro Coliseum. Folks, $10 tickets throughout the whole building. We're going to have playoff fever. We're going to have blackout night, and it's the Massachusetts Pirates. Come out. Let's make this place loud. Let's really give it a great playoff atmosphere. So, Billy, it's time, man. Two games, man.
Yep.
And it's two-game season right now.
Yep. Second season's at hand. We get to play the Pirates. Everybody and their brothers picked them to win the league. So we'll see what they got. They think they're the hottest team out. So we'll see what they got. It's going to be a dogfight. It's not going to be an easy win like last year's two playoff games. The 75 to who cares and the 66 to who cares. 8. Oh yeah, it's 8. It's going to be a different playoff format. These teams they're better teams. They're coached well. It's going to be a dogfight throughout the playoffs. So we're excited. That's what you want as a competitor. You want to compete. You don't want things handed to you. You want to have to earn them. And so anything worth having is earned.
Absolutely. So Massachusetts. Let's start with their offense. Obviously, led by Brackett, their quarterback. Talk about their offense, talk about their receivers. This was an offense that early on in the year was non-existent.
Yeah, they got, they had basically the same offensive receiver and quarterback, their offensive line. They had a couple injuries early on at the center, so that quarterback-center exchange wasn't always the best. Now they got Claiborne back at center, ex-NFL guy, and their offense is picking up. They put up good numbers, but they put up some good numbers versus some subpar teams. I'm not going to give them a lot of credit because of that. But at the same time, as you play each game, and we played the same teams, as you play each game, your confidence level, your mesh points, your reads all become clearer and quicker. And Sean's gotten better at that all year long. He's a great quarterback. Marty Gearhardt's a great receiver. And Devon Brown, to me, is one of the fastest, most elusive receivers in this league. They got a couple young guys, Thomas Owens and a new guy, Hall, they picked up out of UCF that can make some plays. And so they're going to make some action happen. They are. They're going to move the ball. But at the same time, it's our defensive back's job to do route recognition, formation recognition, defensive line's job to get pressure. I like our matchup defensive line-wise. Our guys are relentless with speed. They got some big old linemen. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who wants it most, who has the most hate in their heart, and who's most driven and motivated to win this game.
Defensively, they've been an interesting team in the fact that At times they've looked good, and at times against the Orlandos of the world, they've not looked very good. It's definitely been a team that on paper should be a lot better defensively than they've been.
Yeah, early on they had a bunch of young defensive secondary. Austin is, 23. He was a great college player. Number 3 was a great college player at Louisville. Austin went to Georgia Tech. They added Wooten, now number 2 in the secondary, who played last year with them for a short time, was with the Tennessee Titans as well. So they got an NFL secondary. But they were young early on. We confused them in a lot of things we did. And I think they fixed those problems where confusion's being taken out of it. It's going to be our execution versus theirs. Our reads versus theirs. Our offensive line versus their defensive line. Their defensive line is active, big, fast, and it's an evenly matched skill-wise game. It's going to come down to our scheme. It's going to come down to how we execute, and ball placement and ball security. The turnover margin is going to be huge for us.
Real quickly, talk about their kicker, because their kicker has been effective, especially on deuces this year.
Yeah, Mike Weaver from Wake Forest University. They signed him, brought him in after releasing, to me, the best kicker in the league, Tyler Rouza. They brought him in. He's been doing pretty well. I think he had 3 deuces last week, made 100% of his extra points, and that's something we've lacked this year is the deuce factor. But hopefully that picks up this week. But he's going to be a monster in special teams. We got to be able to capitalize on those things and take advantage of it if he doesn't kick the deuce. If he does miss an extra point, we've got to make sure we're secure 100% on our special teams aspect. So looking for a spark there, and hopefully it doesn't come down to a kick.
Bring home a championship.
This is step 1. Stage 1, the only stage we need to get past is stage 1.
That's it. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us all year. And tonight, come out to the Greensboro Coliseum. Weather's always sunny inside. It's always 68 degrees. You don't have to worry about thunderstorms. And it's going to be a great playoff atmosphere. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and we will see you again next year.